interview. Olly is a worship leader at City Church in Canterbury. He's previously served our family of relational mission churches in the area of worship. He's led worship at a number of really large-scale conferences. And during COVID, you may have been aware of something Olly set up called Come Sing With Me, where every morning he was leading in his office a sort of devotional worship time, which really blessed us as a family. It was really helpful and kept hundreds and hundreds of people connected and worshiping Jesus during that pandemic time. And he's also loads and loads of fun. So I'm really glad to have you with us, Olly.
Little bit of fun. Thanks for having me, John.
Naughty and cheeky, I think, is something that I would use. So we've got some quick fire questions for those that haven't heard of you or don't know you. So let's rattle through some quick fire questions. I feel like there should be some sort of jingle goes on at that point. So Olly, what was your favorite subject at school?
Maths.
Maths. Okay.
I didn't really have a favorite subject, if I'm honest, but yeah, maybe statistics. Yeah.
What is your favorite app on your phone?
Favorite app on my phone. I try and have a really minimal relationship with my phone because I don't want it to take over my life. I mean, Instagram. I'm a photographer and a musician, so Instagram's really useful.
Nice. Have you got any pets?
I have no pets. We do occasionally have a mouse that scurries around in our loft, but I don't know if you can classify that as a pet because it is technically wild. But yeah, no pets, sadly. Although our kids campaign for a dog every day.
Oh yeah, us too. You mentioned it briefly, what is your day job?
I run my own photography business, so I shoot weddings. I don't shoot people, but I photograph people at weddings, and yeah, so that's my main day-to-day thing. But I also do a little bit of music work here and there, and I also teach people as well.
Right. Have you got a wife or children?
I have 2 children, Caleb, who's 11, Rose, who's 8, and then I have one wife, and she's called Kirsty. I won't tell you her age, but we've been married 15 years, John, 15 years.
Congrats. What is your favourite sandwich?
Favourite sandwich? That's a great question. Probably coronation chicken or BLT.
Nice. And have you got a joke that will make us laugh?
It's a joke that my son likes to share with me. It features the singer Adele. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, tell us.
Great. Why did Adele cross the road, John?
I don't know. Why did Adele cross the road?
Because she wanted to say hello from the other side.
Very good.
You didn't laugh. You kind of sighed, really.
I thought the funnier joke was when it's like, yeah, I've got a joke. Do you want to hear it?
Wasn't a joke. I can confirm.
Amazing. So tell us, how long have you been a Christian and how long have you been involved in worship?
I've been a Christian since I was age 17, so maybe same age as some of you here. My best friend at the time, not anymore, a guy called Matt, invited me along to an Alpha course. I went along, discovered what Christianity was all about, the cross and the resurrection that I'd never really heard about before made sense. I'd always believed in some kind of God out there, but I didn't really know who that God was. But I was shown Jesus, and I was amazed at Jesus, and I, through many tears, I was weeping like a baby. I gave my life to him when I was 17 on the Holy Spirit Away Day on the Alpha course. And then as most teenage Christian boys tend to do, I picked up an acoustic guitar and started learning that and started playing it. And then I started leading very, very badly in my youth group.
Brilliant. And have you got any good embarrassing stories from leading worship?
Yeah. Okay, so first time I led worship at my home church in Sussex. I must have been 17, maybe 18, and you know, when you strum the guitar, like you're kind of like you're not supposed to have your knuckles like going and facing the strings, are you? So I was playing the guitar and I was really going for it. I was like, yeah, we need some passion in here. We need some energy in here. And I mistakenly I had my knuckles facing the strings. And what I didn't know was every time I was strumming, my knuckles were grating against the guitar strings. And by the end of the time of worship, there was a pool of blood at the bottom of my guitar. Basically, all the blood from my knuckles that had been sprayed from the strings against the guitar body. So it's a bit of a embarrassing slash slightly gruesome, horrifying story for you, John.
Yeah, that's a delightful image for us all to.
Blood splattered everywhere.
So how
Yeah.
do you, when you're planning to lead worship, how do you go about preparing for that, choosing songs? How do you approach leading worship?
Yeah. It's a great question. So I pray, ask God for his help. I'll consider like what songs have been done recently at church, what songs like should we be singing? Are there any new songs that need repeating? And I'll always try and get a bit of a balance between old and new. So I love some of the old hymns. I love some of like the new contemporary modern songs. And I might try and as well like bring in a song that myself or some others in the church have written as well. So have some kind of homegrown element in the time of worship. I think for me it's quite important kind of when I'm leading, having a bit of like a what would you call it, like a progression, like a story, like an arc through the worship. So I was in a worship time a few years ago and there was just no mention of Jesus and no mention of the cross or the resurrection during the whole time. And I thought, oh, I could be of any faith, I could be of, you know, any religion in the world singing these songs, you know, quite heartfelt. But actually, what we need in the church is to be singing about Jesus, singing about the cross. So, like for me, you know, I don't know, putting in like a hymn, like I stand amazed in the presence, like great content about the cross and great like devotion to Jesus. I think that's really important. And I think like as well, like you want substance in songs. So you want like, you know, the words, the content, but then you also need some like worship outlets. So like the space as well to be able to respond in worship. So Matt Redman, really good worship leader, always said that he wants to take people to the classroom and he wants to take people to the chapel. So he wants to educate people through what they sing, remind people of the gospel, but then he wants to take people to the chapel. So there's like this devotional element. There's this like, oh, Lord, you're just amazing. This simplicity to our worship as well.
That's so helpful. And so much of that we will have experienced, but we don't necessarily realize the thought process that goes into that. So that's really helpful and well articulated. You've been like me. We're a little bit older than these guys watching. Been a Christian for a number of years now. How do you personally keep that kind of love and passion for Jesus going in your life?
Yeah, it's a good question. So if I'm honest, I've never really had any crisis of faith. So I've never really gone through a patch where I've been like, "Oh God, are you real?" Like even during like really hard times, like I was scared that my wife Kirsty was gonna die after she gave birth to Rose, our second kid. Her blood pressure just going through the roof, and I thought this is it. I'm going to be, you know, like a single dad bringing up these kids. But like it was really interesting. Even during that time, I didn't start to question God's reality. Instead, I just started like shouting and crying out to God to help. So I think for me, in situations where, yeah, where things are tough, I tend to just like be desperate before God rather than deny God's there. I haven't been through the most horrendous stuff in the world, but I don't know. I think all throughout my Christian life, I try and abide. I try and draw close to God. I think every morning I set my alarm early before the kids get up. So I set my alarm at 6:30. That might sound really really early to some of you watching this, but like I come into the study and like I sit on that sofa over there. I get out this book here and I read basically just for about 10, 15 minutes, nothing too crazy. and then just spend some time praying. So like I'll pray, kind of relating to what I've just read. This morning I was reading about John the Baptist, heralding the way for Jesus, and I just thank Jesus that he was the Lamb of God, that he takes away the sin of the world, that he's taken away my sin. And then just started praying for things that I was doing today, for my family, for some of my friends that are going through hard stuff. So I tend to find, like, if I'm completely honest, I don't like hop on this. Oh, can I reach it? Piano. There we go. Just about piano. I don't hop on that all the time. I don't hop on my guitar every morning. I probably should. If I'm honest, I don't do that enough. But I think for me, like simplicity of just opening up the scriptures, reading, meditating, praying. I think for me that really helps each and every day. Just abiding, being close to Jesus, and also doing that with my kids at night time as well.
Yeah, that's great stuff. And Jesus said following him had his challenges. He didn't promise an easy life. What do you think is, for you, is the hardest thing about being a Christian?
I think it's probably having opinions and thoughts that are vastly different to other friends and family that don't know Jesus. And it's like it's living this life of love and of faith in Jesus, but then knowing that if I was to share all my opinions on every matter, I A would be cancelled, I'd be, kind of, I don't know, like picketed or like, driven out of my city or I think it's knowing that yes, we're called to be in this world, but we're not called to be of this world. We're called to just be very different and salty um and lights in this world, but not to conform to this world. So I think it's that tension for me between being a witness, loving Jesus and loving people, but then I know that I'm not gonna agree or enter into everything that people are saying around me. And that's really hard because, like, John, I can't lie. Like, I find it really difficult to lie. So if somebody's, kind of there saying to me, like, oh, isn't it just amazing just going out and getting drunk each night and stuff, I won't be able to be like, yeah, great. I'll just be like, oh, not so much for me, but, thanks. So, yeah, I think that's it for me.
Yeah, I'm sure loads of our young people can identify with that. So we know that you lead worship. We know that you're involved in music. Do you serve in any other ways in the church?
Yeah, I do. I preach the word. So I preach maybe every couple of months whenever they want to let me loose with the Bible as well as a guitar. So I serve maybe once a month in leading worship. I serve maybe once every couple of months preaching, and then I also serve I help lead our 20s ministry at church as well. So we have a few 20s, and we get them around our house and have like pizza nights or like movie nights and stuff. Got one coming up on Friday. Still not sure about the film yet. I hear Chicken Run 2 is quite a popular one, but I'm not sure if 20s will all be into that. But Return of the Nugget. Have you seen it, John?
I've not. I'm not. This controversial, but I'm not a huge Chicken Run fan.
Sure, yeah, neither was I, but my family made me watch it, and actually, surprisingly, I did quite enjoy it. But it's put a whole new spin on Cliff Richard's songs, who was, he was around like 50 years ago, everyone. But yeah, watch it and be surprised, John.
Okay, I'll check it out for you.
Thanks.
So finally, as we wrap up, what would you say? You've got a whole bunch of young people watching this now who are either involved in worship or are interested and thinking about getting involved in worship. What would be your message to them as your sort of take home number one message of things to remember for our young people getting involved in and serving in the worship team?
Yeah, I made the mistake when I was young to try and do stuff for my own glory and to try and do stuff for my own benefit. And so when I was young, when I started leading worship very, very badly, strumming my three chords, but then started leading a little bit more at church, I had the wrong motivation. I think I wanted people to just appreciate me. I wanted people to kind of compliment me the whole time. I wanted to do things with my voice and do things with my guitar playing that would make me noticed. But actually, the more and more I did it, the more God humbled me, and the more I actually realized that I need to do stuff, and I need to do everything in this area for His glory and to serve His people. So my big message to you guys would be, don't do things for your own glory. Don't try and gain a following for yourself. Don't try and, kind of write songs or lead worship to impress others. Do it for an audience of one. Do it for God Himself. Give Him the glory through what you do, and really care for the people that you lead as well. There's no point in leading a congregation in worship or playing in worship if you don't care for the people that you're leading. So I tend to find, like, I don't know, if somebody was to ask me 20 years ago, what's the biggest and the best thing for a worship leader or a musician, I'd say, like, oh, to be really skillful on, the instrument that they're playing or their voice. But I think if somebody asked me now, what's the best attribute to have, I think it's to have a real heart and a real care for the people that you're ministering to. So actually really care about how Greg and Sally are doing in the congregation when you're leading them. Think like, oh, they've been through a really hard time there. What songs can I choose to really minister to them? How can I play in a way that will bless, Derek and Patricia in their 70s in church, So I think firstly, do stuff for God's glory, not your own. And secondly, have a real care for the people that you're leading.
That's fantastic. Olly, thank